So let's get into what kind of insurance do you offer? I know that Beauty and Bodywork has been an amazing partner for PBA and for our members for some time. You know the industry, obviously it's in the name, Beauty and Bodywork. So what types of things are covered? And then I do also maybe want to talk through what's not covered if we get a chance to do that too.
Absolutely. And we do thank you guys. PBA has been a partner for a very long time, and we have appreciated the partnership. So I do want to thank you guys for that opportunity. But at Beauty and Bodywork, we also call it BBI for short, we offer professional liability, which covers you for your professional services. That's what you do. That's doing my hair, that's putting makeup on, doing esthetician treatments. That's your professional service. And then we also cover general liability, which is for liability to third parties or clients who are on your premise or rented space. Those are the people that might slip and fall or, cut themselves as they're walking in the door. There's a million things that just. And then we have some optional coverage for your tools and supplies. So we have a coverage for every aspect of your professional business as individual beauty professionals. And then let's jump. You did ask me to some things that it does and doesn't cover. So we just talked about really what the coverage is in the most basic of forms. And there's a lot that we can get into, but I think that's easier to do when we go over some claims examples. But what we don't cover, what we do cover that we haven't specifically addressed is we cover defense costs for a lawyer in the event you're sued. There are a lot of frivolous lawsuits out there. There are a lot of people that claim you injured me when it was a pre-existing injury. And there are simply just things happen. So lawyer expenses and defense costs are some of the most expensive pieces of a claim. And we all know that a lawyer is expensive. Another thing that the coverage comes with is medical coverage that's offered to your client or a third party. And that can help prevent, so your customer's injured, go to the hospital, get this taken care of, we'll pay your medical bills. You can offer that with the protection of knowing that your insurance is going to cover that without asking liability questions. That's a limited coverage. It's $5,000. But what that does is, hey, customer, I'm so sorry this happened. Let's get you taken care of. Don't worry about the medical bills. We'll work that out. So those are some really big coverages that I think we don't necessarily think about like insurance, but they're there and they're a really big part of it. So the medical bills and the injury coverage, it does not cover the individual professional or their employees. That's workers' comp insurance, which is not included in the coverage that we're offering. Need to look into once they have employees and things, but this is specifically for third parties and clients when they're injured. So what's not covered? Always, well, we don't cover the physical building or rented space. So we do cover your tools and supplies and your professional exposures. But I would say the biggest thing that we don't cover is the physical brick and mortar building itself that you're in. The other thing, of course, is any intentional or criminal acts. You can't insure that. So really every policy is going to have some exclusions, some coverages. So, always read the policy. It's boring, I promise. But that helps you truly understand, or ask your agent, call your customer service team that works for Beauty and Bodywork Insurance. We're there to help you understand what that policy is, what you're covered for, what you're excluded. So always read your policy or give us a call, and we're happy to help with that.
And are there certain services, I know as an esthetician, there were sometimes certain services that insurance maybe would not cover, or it was an additional cost if there was like microblading or certain things that may or may not be. It's the gray area of licensing of the state board where you could do it, but maybe kind of couldn't do it sort of services.
Great question, because yes, you're right. There are excluded services. Microblading, anything, permanent makeup, we are pretty much saying anything that punctures the skin, microneedling as an example. We don't want to cover those. That gets more into the sort of medical esthetician.
Mhm.
And so we do try to stay away from that. Any type of body sculpting services, injections, we won't cover those kind of things. But we will do any type of, gosh, there's so many different.
There's so many to list them up,
we do cover. But yeah, I think the biggest thing is once it starts tipping into that medical professional side, you need to have a doctor actually supervising your estheticians. If there's lasers or things like that involved, that's really going towards the medical side of the beauty professional industry, and that's not where we fit.
Okay.
And we do have some endorsements, as you said.
Mhm.
So if they do dry cupping, sometimes that's something that we'll see more on our personal trainer side, but we believe that's part of the beauty profession.
Mhm.
Some microcurrent
Okay.
uses, we will cover that with an additional endorsement. And then obviously our tools and equipment cover is optional, but it's definitely recommended. So those are probably the big few items that are optionally covered.